Well, I thought I'd go creek walking today, so I've just been following this creek up for a bit. I really enjoy creek walking because you get to see all these cool rock formations and little sort of animals and things. And just then, before I turned the camera on, I saw a snake. It's the first snake I've seen since I've been back in Australia, because they're generally hard to see because they're very timid. But it was on the rocks there, and then as I walked up, it slithered up into that crack in the rock there. It was only about 3 feet long, so it wasn't too long. And it was a eastern brown, I think. So pretty poisonous, but you know, they're scared of people. So you're not really going to get bitten by it unless you step on the thing, and as long as you watch where you're walking, you should be alright. But this creek's pretty dry, but it's got a lot of pools in it where the water's settled. And if we look in here, you can see a few tadpoles and things swimming around. So we'll just keep walking up a bit and see what else we can find. But yeah, so there's a snake in there somewhere, just hiding in that crack. Probably can sense my vibrations. It's probably pretty scared. Got a bunch of ants here going about their business. A lot of them actually. Oh, look at this thing. Little red ladybug, or some sort of bug. Yeah, that's cool. Going about his business. Oh wow, look at all the flies. This is something you're not going to see in the United States. Not Tennessee where I live. Look how many flies there are. There's hundreds. You can see a tadpole in the water down there. Look at those flies. I guess they're hanging down here because there's some moisture. Let's make them buzz off. Oh, look at that. Just hear them buzzing around. There's a loose rock there. I don't want to go for a plunge. Oh, there's a nice tadpole just in the water there. So we can get a look at this fella. That's awesome. Just keep moving along. So I've got to climb up and go around this way. If we're lucky, we'll get to see another snake. It's pretty amazing, I reckon, how they can just slither along the ground like they do. And they can go up pretty steep slopes. You know, for a creature without legs, I think it's pretty incredible. Maybe one day they'll make some sort of vehicle which works like a snake. Got a bunch of tadpoles in this pool, all zipping around, hiding under the rock there. These little kind of some sort of insect buzzing around on the top of the water. See, this is cool right here. This is what I like, where the rocks are like this. You can actually see the erosion on the rock when the water's flowing down here when it's been raining. It's all so smooth. Right now it's hardly moving. It's like a trickle. We can see a little trickle there going. A few drips off the leaf. This is interesting. See these butterflies? When I was growing up, there used to be butterflies everywhere. But these days they don't seem to be around as much. I remember there used to be these big orange ones, and they look like a little one of the kind that I'm used to, but I don't see big ones anymore. So it's something to think about. There's a bunch more tadpoles doing their thing. It's just beautiful out here. One thing I notice is the smell. You can really smell the eucalypts. And I think it's something that when you live here, you don't notice it. You get used to it and you don't realise. But when you haven't been here for a long time and you come back, it's like, whoa, man, you can smell it. It's great. Wow, here's another fly party going on. Again, no, wouldn't want to have a barbecue here. There's hundreds and hundreds of flies. Some little green bug, that looks cool. Now that's a cool tree. Yeah, I like that. And it looks like I can walk out on it. So I think we'll go up there and check it out. Isn't it beautiful? This is what God made. And I think I'm so blessed to be able to come out here and experience it. So we just gotta climb up here. So we can walk out on this thing without falling off. And I think this will be a good spot to have a bit of a sit down and just look around. Just put my stick down and settle down. It's about 4 meters above the ground here. So peaceful out here. Creek walking. It's just beautiful. It's a testimony to the power of God. And what's interesting is that 2,000 years ago, we have this testimony of this guy that came down, or was born, and he claimed to have been sent by God. Which begs the question: is that true with a lot of people? But if we look at the actual doctrine that he taught, much of it is just plain self-evidently true. For example, he taught about the Mosaic Law, which was, in general, summed up in the 10 Commandments. Don't steal, don't lie, respect your parents. Don't commit adultery. And he said that all the law and the prophets is summed up in love God with all your heart, soul and mind, and love your neighbour as yourself. So, if we truly love one another, then we're not going to murder, we're not going to lie, we're not going to steal, we're not going to commit adultery or, just go for sexual gratification outside of marriage. So you wouldn't have the broken families, you wouldn't have abortions, you wouldn't have all manner of the horrors that we see in this world. It's just self-evidently true that if everyone did that, things would work. But people won't do that. And so this Jesus, or Yeshua, different names depending on the language, he testified that he was sent from God and he was calling all men to repent, and that he claimed that what God wanted was for people to forsake their evil ways, turn from all evil, and then yield to the good. And he said if people do that, then God will forgive them. And if they seek God with all their heart, we will find God. And it's true. Very simple. It's not complex at all. But to do that can be quite difficult, because it means that we have to, lay aside a lot of the things that we're tempted to do. Because the path of least resistance is to do wrong, because it's easier. You want to make a bit of money, it's easier to be a bit dishonest. You can not tell someone the whole truth when you sell them something. Because if you told them the whole truth, you're not going to get it. And look at that. Down there. It's another brown snake. It's just creeping down. You can maybe just see it moving. Very hard to see. It's sort of gone into the rocks there. So the snakes are about. I hope that one comes out on the camera. So you do have to be careful around here, but as long as you watch where you walk and make a bit of noise when you're moving around, they're generally going to keep out of your way. So, I make sure I don't step over any blind rocks or just, trundle through bushes. Because it wouldn't be too nice to get bitten by one of them. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If we'll just do the right thing and forsake the wrong, and that means, we have to lay down. Jesus put it like this, he said, pick up your cross, deny yourself and follow me. And what does follow him mean? It just means to walk in truth and righteousness. And that's the truth. And I think we all know that's the truth if we examine our hearts honestly. We know we've done wrong. And we just have to be serious and committed to stop that So Jesus said he's the way, the truth, and the life. And that's true. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And if we abide in his Spirit, which is the Spirit of truth, it'll all go well for us. We'll be tested. We'll be tested. We'll be tempted to do the wrong thing. But if we remain committed to God, have faith in God, remain faithful, God will give us the strength to overcome all obstacles. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed a bit of the Australian bush here. Maybe a few words, a few of my thoughts that just sort of popped into my head. It's just so peaceful. Alright, be well.